This man had just finished using the restroom when a gust of wind blew him away, but the real surprise was that the toilet paper was made of sand. Joseph quickly left right after, not wanting to stay there for even a second longer. But just then, a stone caught his attention. To his shock, the stone had a socket growing on it. Driven by curiosity, he couldn't resist touching it. The next second, he was instantly zapped, flying several meters away. Despite the powerful shock, Joseph's body remained unharmed, so he didn't really think much of it. However, after that incident, strange things began to happen to his body. Bottle caps would mysteriously appear on his back, and even when passing by a mechanic's shop, the owner's hammer would suddenly fly toward him. Abu quickly intercepted the hammer, but when he looked around, there was no sign of the attacker. One day, as Joseph was about to leave, two women passed by. He instinctively moved aside to let them pass, but as he was about to walk away, one of the women's skirts suddenly flew up. The woman, noticing, became furious and punched Joseph before storming off. Before Joseph could even react, an old lady walked up to him, but just as she approached, her skirt also flew up. However, the old lady didn't attack him. Instead, she tried to kiss him. Joseph, shocked by this, quickly ran off. As he wondered what was going on, suddenly a flurry of forks and knives came flying at him. Fortunately, Joseph reacted quickly and they all stuck to his prosthetic limbs. At this point, Joseph realized that his body might have been altered into a giant magnet. Just then, a food cart drove by, and the knives and forks on the cart slowly began to stand up. Joseph turned and ran, but the cutlery had already flown behind him, embedding itself in his body. He quickly ducked behind an escalator. To figure out what was happening to his body, he started thinking back to recent events. He soon remembered the socket that had zapped him. Just as he was about to stand up, he suddenly found that he couldn't move. It turned out the escalator was made of metal, and he panicked. But then he noticed that the woman in front of him had several iron chains on her clothing. In the next moment, the chains wrapped around him and pinned him to the escalator. Desperate, Joseph begged her for help, but the woman ignored him and calmly walked down. It turns out that this woman was the one responsible for turning his body into a magnet. As she walked away, Joseph's hands reached the edge of the escalator, and the escalator immediately crushed them. In that moment, he remembered an emergency stop button on every escalator. He activated his stand, Hermit Purple, and charged toward the button. But unexpectedly, the emergency stop button was on the outside of the escalator, too far for his stand to reach. Just as the escalator was about to crush Joseph into a pulp, Abu suddenly appeared and pressed the stop button, saving Joseph from certain death.